Hey, this is the Mega Bull Crypto Decoder. And we're going to go over Hedera Hashgraph or HBAR. Okay. And this is the crypto series that I'm doing on tokens I believe have utility. And so as I'm going through this, I'm treating this like I'm learning with you. Like I'm looking at the website and learning as I'm doing this with you. And in this case, I provide you with ways to pique your curiosity and to go and search it on your own. And their hashgraph is a monster. Okay, if you watch King Solomon's videos, he actually found documents in which HBAR was being utilized by the military. Yes, the military. And it's going to be a big part of it. And actually, it's funny. Uh, I don't know if it was the CTO or maybe the CEO of the company actually told him he was actually one of the first people to find uh, information in regards to that and that he was impressed. So if you watch King Solomon, he does a lot of research on HBAR and he's a huge proponent of it. So anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Now, this is the most extensive website that I've been to so far out of all the crypto series that I've done. So I'm actually thinking that this one might be a two-part series just because I don't think I'll get through it all in the allotted time that I'm trying to do this in. So here we're going to start with the token, okay, with the HBAR token. And then I'm going to see if we have time for other stuff. But I want to give you the rundown. And here, the HBAR token, right? There's a dual role. And HBAR is a native energy efficient cryptocurrency of the Hedera public network. HBARs are used to power decentralized applications and protect the network from malicious actors. The network fuel. Developers use HBARs to pay for network services such as transferring HBARs, managing fungible and non-fungible tokens, so the NFT market, which this is going to be a huge place because of the fees are so low, and I'll show you in just a second. So managing fungible and NFTs and logging data. For each transaction submitted to the network, HBARs are used to compensate network nodes for bandwidth, compute, and storage. Network protection. Hedera's proof of stake public network uses HBARs, which are staked or proxy staked, coming soon, to a network node to weight votes on transactions when reaching consensus. Weighted voting with HBARs makes it difficult and expensive for a bad actor to maliciously affect consensus. It would require them to own and stake over 1/3 of the network's total supply of HBAR, which will not be possible for the first 5 years. Okay, so you can stake, and they have this thing called proxy staking, which is going to be an interesting thing. We'll see if we can get to it. Now, here's the Treasury Management Report, which describes the methodology used to report on Hedera's management of the pre-minted supply of HBAR as directed by the Hedera Governing Council's Treasury Management and Token Economics Committee. Now, what's interesting about this is that the Governing Council is made up of multiple entities, right? And they're responsible for um, keeping the network decentralized or something along those lines. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I don't want to jump ahead here, but a lot of what makes those entities are major players that are backing this. Now this is a hash graph, right? This is not this is different from your typical blockchain token, right? Here you see that the third generation public ledger. It says Bitcoin pioneered decentralized infrastructure and Ethereum brought programmability. But the earlier proof of work blockchains consume massive amounts of energy, which is not new to anyone. And not only do they consume massive amounts of energy, it's very slow in processing its transactions in order to achieve acceptable levels of security. This is not new. Okay? Heavy bandwidth consumption by these technologies leads to expensive fees which no one is new to, even for a simple cryptocurrency transaction. The Hedera proof of stake public network powered by Hashgraph Consensus achieves the highest grade of security possible, with blazing fast transaction speeds and incredibly low bandwidth consumption by combining high throughput, low fees, and finality in seconds. Hedera leads the way for the future of public ledgers. So honestly, the Hashgraph Consensus or the HBAR token in terms of speed and fees is really, really similar to the XRP ledger. And if you look here, we see the transactions per second, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Hedera. Massive difference. Average fee, massive difference, right? This is thousands of times more expensive for a fee on these networks of Bitcoin and Ethereum than it is for Hedera. We see transaction confirmation, 3 to 5 seconds, just like XRP, right? Takes a while on the Ethereum and Bitcoin network. Huge energy consumption, a lot less. And I believe that those that are not compliant with the ISO 2022 standard and they're not energy efficient and don't go along with the new green economy will be left out. Now, these were the pioneers, so they hold huge weight as of now. But you have to keep in mind that heading into the future, you have to take into account the technology, and you have to be aware of it being leapfrog because of better technology. Now, I'm not saying that they don't provide usefulness and haven't pioneered this market, because they have. You got to give their due right to them. But you got to look at the technology as well and the kind of regulation that might come on what might be regulatory clarity. Now, that's all I'm saying. Here, we move on, and it's talking about how incredible throughput, predictably low fees, and finality in seconds, which I just showed you. And it's showing you the metrics for the network, okay, which you can look at on your own time. Now, the ecosystem. We have exchanges, right? And the HBAR token is the mediator between all these right here, whether it be exchanges, end users, proxy stakers, applications, the network, or nodes. So here in exchanges, some markets can be used by application developers and users and so forth and so on. Hedera does not control which exchanges support HBARs. We have the network nodes, right? So you can look at that. Now, proxy staking. What is that? Every node on Hedera's proof of stake network has a weighted influence on consensus. That weight is proportional to the amount of HBARs staked to a node. Proxy staking allows those who own HBARs but aren't operating a node to stake their HBARs to someone else's nodes. Earnings are split between the node operator and the owners of the proxy staked HBARs, earning the proxy staker a small share of transaction fees. When proxy staked HBARs are not locked up, which is important, as is common in other networks, and proxy stakers retain the ability to transact their HBAR however they'd like. Okay, so it's almost like the Flare network, where you can stake it, but it's not locked in, like a Cardano, right? Which is pretty cool. And then here are frequently asked questions: fixed supply, 50 billion coins, etc., etc. Okay, now let's see, where do I want to go to? Use cases. I still have the network to go over and the use cases, right? I've just gone over the overview of just the token thus far. So what I think is important is to look at the team and then the partners. And then probably in the next video, I'll go over use cases and network. Now the team, let's see here. Okay, Lehman Baird. He is the one that invented the Hashgraph distributed consensus algorithm. He's the co-founder and chief scientist of Hedera. He has 20 years of tech and startup experience. He was a professor of computer science at the U.S. Air Force Academy. And this is interesting because I wonder if this now leads into the ties with the military, because the military will be using the Hashgraph Consensus. And so That's interesting, all right? Now we look at Mats Harmon. He is co-founder and CEO. Let's see, he has multinational corporations, government agencies, and high-tech startups. He previously served as head of architecture and labs at Ping Identity, founder and CEO of two tech startups. Look at this, program manager for a very large scale software program for the Missile Defense Agency, and the course director for cybersecurity at the U.S. Air Force Academy. So you're starting to see a trend here. A lot of these people have ties to the military. Let's see the general counsel. Let's see if she has. So she started her career in Silicon Valley. Okay, she's been at Yahoo. Let's see what else. Okay, we can move on. Leonel Cochran. Let's see, he is the Chief Product Officer. He's been involved in a lot of things. I'm trying to just Cisco's fast growing Internet of Things business. Okay, he's had previous lows at BNB Paribas. It's major. So these people are no schmucks, that's for sure. Chief Marketing Officer, I believe this is the individual which King Solomon had the interview with. He is Chief Marketing Officer for Hedera. He was purely the VP of Marketing at Data Stacks. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, these are the people. These are the leadership teams. So it's important to know who the people are that are supporting this project. And whenever you have something that the military is going to use, you have to have something that's highly secure, that will not be easily hacked. Now, the investors that are in this, Blockchain Ventures, Digital Currency Group, it's a massive backer of digital currencies. Okay, they have a lot of people and investors that are backing this. Let's look at their partners. Now we go here. Let's see if they have a list. Well, looks like they don't. I recently just saw, maybe it's on the council. Let's go ahead and look at their council. And here we see Hedera is owned and governed by the world's leading organizations. FIS, huge. Okay, IBM, Google, Boeing, Chainlink Labs, Standard Bank, Tata. And there's Ripple, has ties with Tata, DBS, right? LG. We have a lot of major players, right? And this makes up the council. Now here it says the decentralized governance. Hedera addresses decentralized concerns by separating governance from consensus. Hedera's governance design assures no single company, small group of developers, or node operators has undue influence or control over the network. Code-based direction, the decentralized nodes, the network stability, fair responsibility. So they're making a decentralized ecosystem. And it talks about the Standard Bank and the different partners. Yet again, they list them here. Okay. Then it talks about their stability. So that was the council that made up the Hedera network. See, sometimes this happens with the website, and it's not letting me go on to the next thing. Now, here is a council overview. But actually,
we are in the dawn of a new decentralized era, where people who don't know or trust each other can securely collaborate and transact online without the need for an intermediary. For distributed ledgers to go mainstream and enable this vision, there are 4 issues that must be addressed: speed, security, stability, and governance.
HBAR has all those.
Hedera Hashgraph is the enterprise-grade public network that addresses these challenges. The underlying Hashgraph Consensus algorithm offers speed and scalability, fair ordering, and best-in-class security for mission-critical applications. Hedera is a platform built on and built for trust.
You need a governing concept. And because blockchain systems are about trust, well, somebody has to set the standard for trust.
That's one of their partners for the governing council.
To achieve a truly decentralized governance model. The Hedera Governing Council is an elected group of highly diversified, leading global organizations committed to supporting the development and growth of the Hedera public network.
And I think that gives you a good summary of what the governing council is all about. Now, they're not going to tell you their partnerships with the military. And that's what these research articles or papers that King Solomon finds. And so, on the next episode, part 2 of this, I'm going to focus on the use cases of HBAR and the network. And this is just an introduction on what HBAR is, its governance and its team, right? And its powerful backing. Now you're going to see the powerful use cases and what the network can do with this utility and the fundamentals that carry it forward to shape what will be a decentralized finance. So, without further ado, this is the Mega Bull Crypto Decoder. Like and subscribe. See you in the next one.